Good morning, YouTube. Southern Vermont Vintage. This here I picked up at an estate sale, and I believe they refer to them as a pillow book. I don't know anything about them. The gentleman was stationed in the Air Force in the 60s, and he must have brought it back. The folks having the auction didn't have much information, except for the gentleman had passed. Like here. So I figured my best bet, I could throw a video up on good old YouTube, and everybody can kind of enjoy this as well. And maybe somebody would have some information. The prints or the paintings or whatever they are, range and material that they've been done on. Like I said, I don't have any information. I was going to take Google Translate and see if what's written up here is similar to what's going on down here. And you can see these pictures. I didn't realize the Japanese men were hung so well. But I don't know how many there is now. Got to be a good 10, 20 of them. See, here's what, number 3. Number 4. Yes. Google Translate helps out a lot. Sometimes on the bottom of items, there'll be something scratched in some Japanese or Chinese or something, and yeah, they translate. Like this one, it's been what that must mean, artist signed, stamped, or at least stamped by a certain artist, I guess. Poor guy. She's her own young lover. Okay. Must be enjoying himself a little opium smoke. Yeah, this is so fun. Now, I found this. It was an estate sale, online auction, and there was a couple of cabinets there that I wanted and had purchased. So the day of pickup, get there, and the person doing the online auction, hosting it for the company, doing whatever, walk in, he's got his feet up on the people's dining room table, and he's eating breakfast. And the first thing that jumped in my head is, this guy's an asshole. It doesn't matter whose stuff it is. You don't sit there and put your feet up on, especially someone's dining room table. Whether they're there, the stuff is sold. You don't do that even with your own. But anyhow, the cabinets that I had won prior, like days prior, we had to wait like 2-3 days to do the pickup. We're still all loaded with all the contents and everything. It was like, we're going to show up and unload these cabinets and put all these items that somebody else purchased and not break them and move them all. And I'm just, I ain't getting involved in this. But he got up and started moving the stuff. And in the meantime, it's like, well, there's a bunch of stuff down in the basement we never even got to, and decided not to do in the auction, blah, 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 and had a bunch of excuses going on. And pretty much what it was out in the garage and down in the basement, they were lazy as hell. They didn't take care of nothing like they should have. If I were those homeowners, I would have been so irate. Just the stuff that I took out of the garage, a whole truckload, would have cost me $2,000-$3,000 to purchase those items. Purchase them as a resell at a yard sale, it still would have been $1,000 worth of items I got for like $100. I mean, that's awesome for me. Like totally great. Like for instance, there's two of those Rubbermaid, like 150-gallon like horse troughs, the plastic Rubbermaid containers for like holding water for your farm animals and stuff. You know, those go for $150, $200 a piece. You know, two of them in that load. So I paid, I don't know, probably $10 for the two, given the fact of what I paid for the load. But anyhow, um, went down in the basement because I was so amazed at what I got out of the garage. Like a brand new ATV lift was in that $100 load. Those two Rubbermaid containers. There's three other car jacks, a 3.5 ton and two 2.5 tons. And anybody that buys car jacks, you know how expensive a floor jack, especially a 3.5 ton is. They were all Napa brand. Not that that really matters to me, but price wise, it does help sell. But yeah, like I said, I mean, there was literally thousands upon thousands of dollars out of that garage, and it was all great, resellable, reusable stuff. It was because of their laziness of not putting it in the sale and not wanting to deal with it that I was able to get it for that price. I mean, it stinks for the homeowners for sure. That company I'd never use doing estate sales, but I'd go there and buy again. But anyhow, so digging down in the basement, there's just shelves of boxes, and you could tell that, like, dude, these boxes haven't even been gone through. You go underneath the workbench, and all the boxes all had dust on the top of them. None of the boxes had even been gone through and checked to see what was in these boxes for the sale. They said, F it. They took out a bunch of real high-end stereo equipment and laser disc. The dude had, I don't know, 20,000 laser discs. There was two walls of the basement, floor to ceiling, covered in laser discs. And I should have grabbed a bunch, not thinking about it. I should have went through them and grabbed a bunch because he's like, if nobody takes any of these today, they're all going to the dump and stuff. And they had the dump guys on the way. Like they were throwing them in the dump and not even trying to hand them off to like Goodwill or something. But anyhow, so I'm down there digging through boxes. I'm like, this is a gold mine. There's something down here. There's stuff down here that I'm gonna find. And sure shit, I open up a box, and in that box is not only this here, but yeah, let me go grab what else was in that box. Here it is right here. Check this out. Handelware. This is an old tobacco container. God, gotta be early 1900s, if not pre-1900s. But yeah, that was in the box as well. Let me see if I can flip this over to the bottom. You guys can see the stamp on the bottom. There. Here we go, right there. And you don't see a whole lot of them with the squirrels. So I'm sure this is probably a more sought after pattern. And it needs a cleaning. But obviously, they didn't go through anything in that basement to open up that box and to have that and this together. I about dropped. And then when I brought everything upstairs, because I pulled a truckload out of the garage, and then they sold me the one of those carports. That's the metal bars with the tarps, and it's got the ends. I forget how big they are. They're something like 30 by 12 or 30 by 15, 16 or something like that. But they sold me that. I had to take it down for $25. So that was a killer deal. But I figured I was coming back and tearing that down and taking that out. I'd do a third load. So I tried to, down in the basement, put a whole load together. And pulled a bunch of stereo equipment. Kicking myself for not the laser discs. But what else did I pull out of here? There's a bunch of stuff. There's a whole truckload of stuff. But yeah, I get to thinking about it. I'll put a few of the items together with this. And when I brought everything upstairs, that's where I was getting at. When I brought everything upstairs, and put it together in a pile and said, all right, this, everything I found down there, what are we going to do? He looks at me, he goes over, opens the first box and sees that he's like, gonna have to like go through the box and see that I've got like 6 or 8 items in that box and see what they are. He's just like, looks at it. Oh, this is gonna be too much work. $100. So of course, I can't get the $100 out quite fast enough. But so back to the prints here. We're down at the end, and in the back of it has a bunch of different stuff in the back. I'm not sure what this has to do with it. Maybe this is the artist or something. And then see, just 70. I don't understand a lot of this stuff here. I'm not sure why they would type that and put that in there, but there's a ton. Some of this stuff goes through and explains to you certain things you're supposed to do or use, or you're going to collect romantic instruments from all over the world. Just imagine how many different kinds there are. There was something about, what is it, the white-headed potato or something? Yeah, the right here, known as the white potato stem. It's an edible. I don't know, it must be like a edible Viagra or something type of deal, I guess. Some of these have come unglued from the pages, but not that that's really a big deal. And each one has like a little something to say, so you can just kind of pause it and read these. I'll try to get them to come into focus so you can pause and read. And like here where they messed up, so they X'd it all out. I know some of the newer machines, it must have been in the 80s. I don't know, maybe they came before that, but I can remember typing in the 80s and having the correction buttons on some of them. There you go. Pause it and read whatever these all say. But anyhow, any of this stuff is only good to me if it's sold. This isn't an item that I can really display or really enjoy more than I kind of just enjoying it now, showing it and displaying it, looking at it, going through it. Thorny piece of small ring fits over there. Huh. All right, special product of Kumamoto. Huh. Cosmic 17-syllable poem. Okay. Soak this in lukewarm water to make it soft before usage. Dancing. String and insert. Oh boy. All right. Anyhow. So, I don't know. I got to do something with this. I don't know if eBay is going to want to try to flag this down. And that's everything that's in it. There's a few empty pages in the end. I don't know if eBay is going to want to flag this and pull it if I try to sell it on there, because of the sexual positions. I don't know if maybe I take pictures and video for eBay, and I take and block the pictures a little bit, so the private parts can't be seen. I think that's what they do on some of, like, if you were to, had like some old, like a penthouse type things. I don't know. Like, this isn't really considered porn. It's more like educational, but, you know, I don't know. But before things get ruined or destroyed here or not taken care of properly, I'd rather get it into somebody's hands. But there it is. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. So I brought it home. It was unique, something different, something I've never seen before and come across. You know, maybe they're pretty common. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Does it have some value? Anybody want to buy it? All right. And yeah, we'll do a quick little video coming up too. Be looking out for a quick little video on a couple other items. Like this Handelware. This is really cool. This is really old, antique type stuff. This is like really, really cool in my eyes. A survivor. You know, something this old to still be here in this condition and not be destroyed, broken, chipped. Like, that's awesome. But look for a video coming up in the future here of me going over a few really cool glass items that I've acquired. All right, peace out. Much love, Southern Vermont Vintage. Going to get a car in 2025, I hope. 3 years without a car has been tough.